Hello, YouTube. On the 21st of December in 2017, Russian newspaper Komsomolskaya Pravda published a very interesting article. The information was republished in a number of Russian newspapers about the same time. Despite the years that have passed, one of the revelations in that article is still very interesting and is as enigmatic now as it was back then. You see, cosmonaut Sergei Ryazansky stated the following: I saw an airfield for UFOs. The cosmonaut who returned from orbit at that time talked about life on the International Space Station and about strange objects seen from above. Russian journalists met the cosmonaut in the Star City. Star City, or Звездный городок in Russian, is the training center where Soviet cosmonauts were trained to be the first to get to outer space. Since the end of 1960s, this training center is called Yuri Gagarin, in memory of the first cosmonaut to travel to outer space. Smiling and charming Ryazansky willingly answered all questions on the topic and off topic. Let me demonstrate to you some questions and answers before getting to the main point. He was asked, do astronauts have special cameras? No, the photo equipment is ordinary. Even when going into outer space, we use store purchase cameras. Somehow it so happened that there were only Nikons on board. Which objects are the most interesting to photograph? Ask any astronaut or cosmonaut, and he will say that his favorite object is Riyadh, the Eye of Africa. Such a large structure, it is perfectly visible, and all novice photographers from space begin to photograph from that object. The Riyadh structure, or as some say, Eye of the Sahara, is a deeply eroded and a slightly elliptical formation in the Sahara Desert, west central Mauritania. The whole structure is approximately 50 kilometers wide. That's why it is easy to see it even from the space. Well, Sergei Ryazansky's favorite place to photograph is the island of Taha in French Polynesia. It looks like a keyhole. Taha is an island located in French Polynesia in the Pacific Ocean. Taha is also known as Vanilla Island. It is indeed in Taha that 80% of the famous Tahitian vanilla is produced. The island of Taha consists of an extinct volcano, the 590-meter high Mount Ohiri, surrounded by a reef and lagoon with a distance of 160 kilometers. Maybe the cosmonaut was sending a message to someone by talking about this. They choose their words very carefully, just like American astronauts, I am sure. Also, he was asked, is it difficult to photograph from space? Well, in a sense, it's easier. We have huge lenses that you can't reach on Earth, and in zero gravity, they weigh nothing, but there are some peculiarities. First, the objects appear to be flat. Therefore, you have to bend, shoot at an angle. Secondly, luck is important. Imagine you fly around the entire Earth in an hour and a half. So the picture changes instantly. You approach the object, aim, and it flies away. It is almost impossible to see and photograph St. Petersburg, for example. And there was an eruption in Bali, and I didn't see it. Very hurtful. And then comes this question. Was it possible to film something unusual? For example, the planet Nibiru. I have not seen Nibiru, but I have seen something unusual in the footage. I have solved some riddles, but there are some things that I cannot find an explanation for. In one of the European countries, let's call it that, there's a large forest area, circles, triangles, Squares are cut on it. These objects occupy hundreds of kilometers. They are interconnected and are perfectly visible from space. Obviously, someone is doing this on purpose. But why? There is no information on the internet. Most likely a military training ground, since they don't write. Maybe a landing pad for aliens? For obvious reasons, the reporters stated in the article they could not place photos of the mysterious object in the article. However, Sergei promised that in a future book he would definitely publish part of the celestial mysteries. And you know what? I have not seen his future book. But in 2017, there was another book. See, by the return of the cosmonaut from space, the Bombora publishing house released the book titled Amazing Earth, which contains the most extraordinary photographs taken by Rязанский from the ISS, but not that one. So, what did he see and where? A few words about this cosmonaut. Sergei Nikolaevich Rязанский. He's a Russian cosmonaut. He's the grandson of Mikhail Rязанский, chief Soviet guidance designer of the Sputnik, or as you call it, Sputnik era. Rязанский was selected as a research and test cosmonaut in 2003. He held the position of senior scientific researcher at the Sensomotorной Physiology и Профилактики department. Rязанский completed training in 2005. In 2009, he participated in a 105-day mission as part of Phase 2 of the Mars 500 program. So, Rязанский made his first spaceflight aboard the Soyuz TMA-10M Expedition 37 and 38 mission from September 2013 until March 2014. And in 2017, Rязанский returned to space. He was the commander of Soyuz MS-05 and served as flight engineer for Expedition 52-53. So, what happened in the Expedition 37-38? Sergei Rязанский was launched to the International Space Station on his first space flight on board the Soyuz TMA-10M spacecraft on September 25, 2013, alongside Russian cosmonaut Oleg Kotov and American astronaut Michael S. Hopkins. And during the Expedition 52-53, Rязанский was the commander of Soyuz MS-05 mission to the ISS, launched on 20th July 2017. He was the flight engineer for Expedition 52 and Expedition 53. Rязанский returned to Earth on December 14, 2017. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let me remind you what happened 2 days later in the United States. On December 16, 2017, the New York Times reported on the UFO incidents and published 2 videos termed Flare and Gimbal, if I pronounce it right, purporting to show encounters by jets from Nimitz and Theodore Roosevelt vessels with unusually shaped, fast-moving aircraft. Additionally, the Washington Post published a video of a similar encounter titled Go Fast. Enough said? I wonder what Sergei observed from the ISS and whether we will ever know the significance of events of December of 2017 and whether this month was specifically chosen to reveal some information about UFOs and all consequent occurrences thereafter and all the febrile attempts to establish programs to study UFOs. This is my research, and if you like it, you can support me. You will find the links in the description to this video. Please like my video, please subscribe to my channel, and please tell others about it. I think we live in a very exciting age. We'll see what happens next. Thank you.